Hello,
Hi.
morning or
Hey,
afternoon.
Meg. Hey, everybody. How's it going? We made it. No leaf blowers.
Yeah, I had, oh my gosh. So
Of
Vancouver,
course.
Vancouver got hit with this crazy storm yesterday. It came on like around 4 p.m. It was just like insane. And we lost all the leaves, all the trees lost their leaves. So now my whole
Oh,
neighborhood is leaf blowers and they started up like the minute we were
of
about to go live. And I was like,
course.
oh,
Yeah.
they've stopped now. I live in a really old house too. So just like our windows are like
You
paper thin.
can hear
Yeah,
everything.
you
Oh
can
my
hear it.
gosh. Well, I'm glad it stopped. And then if it does, usually I found with like background noise, it's not as loud. You hear it loud, but the audience doesn't hear it. But if I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay. But anyway, I'm so excited for today. This is such a great topic.
Yes,
Confidence in the
confidence.
treatment room. And I know there's some people that have already joined. So if you're struggling with anything, like Meg and I love to troubleshoot with you on the spot. So
Yeah.
just like totally share in the comments what you might be struggling with in terms of the treatment room, wherever you might
Mhm.
be feeling like a lack of confidence. Don't be shy. We've all been
Yeah.
there. So,
That's why we love doing these lives because it gives us an opportunity to like connect directly with you guys.
yes,
Uh, yeah.
absolutely. All right. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah,
Because
let's just
we,
dive into it. I'm just waving to everyone.
oh, I love that
Really.
feature, the wave
I know,
feature. It's so
same. It's so
nice.
cute. Okay. So I have like a Backstreet Boys song stuck in my head. Okay, how do we if you see me looking to the side, I'm looking at my computer.
Same. I have some notes too. So, estheticians in confidence in the treatment room. I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like we could talk for days about this. And like one of the things Meg and I we were talking about yesterday too was like how there's so much for the esthetician to juggle that
Hmm.
it's no wonder that you get overwhelmed or you freeze or you feel like just so out of your element sometimes because literally being an esthetician in the treatment room with a client one-on-one is one of the most challenging jobs
Yeah.
out there,
Mhm. Yeah.
and there's just so much to juggle. Hey guys, Skin 9 Studio,
Hope
you
you're
guys are
doing
doing
well.
well.
Thank
You
you.
too. If you have any
I
confidence
know.
issues in the treatment room, drop us. So yeah, there was like a post that we saw that was saying that like when you're an esthetician, not only are you dealing with, understanding the science, the technology, understanding the client, being able to give them great service, create a beautiful environment, be like a scientist, be a cosmetic chemist. Like we're juggling so many things at once, and then actually our hands have to be working all at the same
Yeah.
time on top of it, like doing a really nice massage or extractions. It's like no wonder that sometimes we literally just like need a boost because it can be so overwhelming. So we wanted to address confidence in the treatment room today, and we have a bunch of tips for you because obviously it relates to so many things because you're doing so many
Mhm.
things when you're in that treatment
Mhm.
room. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Mhm.
Oh, when do you think it's appropriate to start selling your products and without being pushy? Oh,
So thank
we did a
you.
whole module on
Yeah,
that, right?
we do. We
That
have a whole lesson from our Spot Owner Sales Academy. We opened it up so it's a la carte, so everyone can purchase the lessons like separately, like master classes. And
yeah.
Elizabeth and I have like a whole facial flow, like it's over an hour long lesson where we talk about how you should format your facial, um, so that because I find it's like when should you talk about your product? You need like a system. You have to go in and be like, okay, for me, my internal system for my facial, this is how it's going to be set up. Because when you talk about your product, um, it's like you have to build up kind of to it. You
Mm.
have to sprinkle in bits throughout the facial so that they feel kind of primed and ready when it comes time. Elizabeth, you can probably share more. So Elizabeth, if you guys are new, Elizabeth is an esthetician and spa consultant. Um, we created the Spa Owner Sales Academy together. I knew if I was going to create something that was sales focused, I needed an esthetician who was actually in the treatment room because so much of what you guys do is in the treatment room and then on like the social media marketing side of things. So I feel really, really grateful that we have Elizabeth here. She has like 20 years of experience. She's worked with lots of really, really high-end spas. So she's like super, super tuned into customer service. Um, yeah, and so we created like this facial flow lesson where Elizabeth chats about kind of, I guess, like what formatting your facial so that it doesn't feel like a sales pitch kind of thing. And understanding,
Yes.
well, actually, the lesson's called like facial flow, when to, what is it? It's like when to
When to
sell
talk, when to sell, and when to shut
and
up.
when to shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
Yep. Because that is an element of the facial. I think that's the biggest thing that so many estheticians struggle with, and I would too. It's like, should I talk now? Should I be quiet now? Should I just speak softly? Like, how do I navigate this?
mhm,
So yeah, we did a whole module on that, but I would say like, yeah, find a format that works for you and your personality. I don't think that you should try to change who you are, when you're doing a facial. But I also think there is a certain flow. There are certain times that certain clients will expect to have some quiet time, and there are certain times when clients will expect you to be leading, to be educating, to be like super authoritative. It's authoritative in your really about sprinkling those in
mhm.
when it's the right time, and that's kind of what we go over.
But we
Um,
also chat about the skin consult. So the skin analysis and the skin consult is actually a really great time to set up for the sale. Because if you think about
yes.
it, like the skin consult is the time where you're not doing the treatment, right? And if you're not doing the treatment, then it's like, okay, now we can chat and I can talk to you more about like all my products, and you kind of set them up in the skin consult. I think I think with every new client, you should definitely have like some sort of consultation beforehand, whether I think Elizabeth, we talked about them coming in separately, or if it's like how many minutes before like their
Yeah,
treatment.
at least 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
depending on the complexity of your services or if you take photos as well. Like, yeah, at least 15 minutes where it's not you just touching them and they're trying to relax. It's you just like one-on-one giving them an amazing, like some
Yeah.
FaceTime, and then they're like, wow. Then you can click into esthetician service mode and get them relaxed and get them on the table. But I think some time where you just talk about what they need, who they
Mhm.
are, diving into their products, and then giving them a really specific service plan and
Yeah.
retail plan. So to answer the question that came in, like
About products.
I always discuss products, retail products in the consultation.
Mhm.
You don't want to wait until they're on your table to be discussing products. Like
Mhm.
you want to set that expectation in the beginning. It's almost like your hairdresser's like, yes, I'm going to cut your hair, but I also need you to use the shampoo. And like they'll tell you that in the beginning, or
Mhm.
I'm gonna need you to use this serum to help your color.
Mhm.
It's like we have to always be there from the beginning saying, no, this is the expectation. I treat you with products and services right from day one.
Yeah, and also because we talk a lot about the whole client experience, because it is a fine line, right? Because your clients are in to get help with their skin, but they're also in to relax. And that's
Yes.
why like the amount of times I've had lots of facials, I've been to lots of like professional skincare professionals, estheticians, and I have noticed that like when people don't do a skin consult and then they're like opening up in the first 5 minutes of my service with them and their hands are on my face and they're asking me all these questions, I feel like rushed because I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
like they're starting it, but they don't know my history. So I really think, and we talk about this a lot, the Spa Owner Sales Academy, like taking the time, like to be the professional that you are and like do a proper skin consult can really set you apart from your competition.
Oh,
Because
100.
personally for me, I don't see enough doing consultations before. Like I've said, like I've had like people's hands on my face asking me questions. It's not what I want. Like I want, why can't we talk about that beforehand? And then it's not
Yeah.
going to interfere with like, coming from the consumer side of things. Like I bought a facial because I want like an hour of like your hands on my face, right? Like I want your service for like that hour. I don't want it being like, oh, let's talk, for
Hmm.
so much of it. Like, why can't that be slightly
Right. I
separate?
think it should be separated, like separated time, where it's like, here's the consult. This is how you get comfortable with my business. You get to know me. You get comfortable with the surroundings, what we do
Mm-hmm.
here.
And
If
give
you
them a tour
Yeah,
too
you give
during
them a
that time.
tour, like these are where the bathrooms are. It's those little things of like, I always make the analogy of it's like dating. You don't want
Yeah.
anyone to rush you into situations that you're not comfortable in. You want people to be like, let's take it slow. Here are the surroundings. So you feel safe, you feel
Yeah.
comfortable, and then you
Yeah.
move into like the service. So, yes, definitely I think estheticians, especially newer ones, they skip over that. And I think for me, I used to struggle with that too until I started working in the medical field. And then when I was working with treatments that were very, that you really needed people to understand them, you needed consent, they
Mhm.
were aggressive. That's when I saw the power of the consultation because
Mhm.
I'm like, we just can't go into these services and just start. And now I just feel like that's the way we should do
Yeah.
everything, just with complete communication and, setting it up for success and setting
Mhm.
yourself up as the expert. Oh, there's so many questions here.
I know.
Let's see. When do you think it's appropriate to start selling your
I just
products without being
talking about
pushy?
that.
That, yep. And then how do clients feel comfortable taking pictures and posting? Ooh, that's definitely more of like an operational policy
Mhm.
question where like for pictures you really need to incorporate that again into your consultation and they should sign off on like a piece of paperwork that says that they have consent,
Yeah.
they're giving consent to so that's a really easy piece of paperwork that you can do.
And I actually
um
do have a blog on my website, a whole article about that kind of consent for social media content. And I
mm,
have a script you can literally copy and paste and use that for your own. Um, and I think it'll really help you out there because you do need proper consent. And if they don't have that consent beforehand and then you come up and you like ask, it's going to interfere with the client experience. After you have got their consent, I think coming from like a content creation aspect, you really want to understand the flow of your service and like plan out your service. Like when are times where they're relaxing and their eyes are shut, kind of thing. Like that's a good time for you to get content, right? When they're relaxing, can you work in like a moment of stillness in your treatment, right? Be mindful of it's for them too, but from a marketing aspect, like how can you be strategic and kind of set up times where you know they're going to be like relaxed and just chilling in the bed and it's going to be like more like aesthetically pleasing and then you can grab content there when making sure their eyes are closed and then at the end because you've talked about getting like before and afters when you want to take like maybe a piece of content or video or a picture with their eyes open they'll be prepared for that and it won't feel like a lot is being taken because right you've already worked it into your treatment so it's not interfering like at the end it'll just be like that one little okay now I'm gonna grab like a great like after content because I noticed when we were chatting about getting content before our treatment you were on board with me taking videos or like you're taking like a picture but my I'm gonna like block your identity, right? And if you go to the blog article on my website, I'll link it somehow. I'll link it in my link in bio for a bit. There is in the script, there's different. I worded it so it's like, oh, do you want your full face shown, or in our videos and pictures, or do you want me to like block your identity, right?
yes,
Like,
that's
do you
so
want me
good
to
to have
put
options.
yeah, it's pretty much
Yeah.
have options because like I'm someone who like if I was getting my Botox and stuff like I don't know if I'd want my whole face published on someone's
Yeah.
just who I am it's just who I am um I don't want that but if you put a blurred out bar above my eyes go crazy
Yeah,
post me up like I wouldn't care and
totally.
everyone's different that way and you have to respect that so yeah definitely check out my blog article where you can copy and paste that little script and use it in your consent form.
Oh yeah, I think all about communication and
Yeah.
getting into their mindset too. Like when they're done and they're all relaxed and like sometimes their hair's messed up and their makeup's gone, that's not the time they want their picture taken. But if they're just laying down and their eyes are closed and they look serene, that's definitely a better time. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, I always look pretty jacked up after I get a facial. So, um, oh, another question. I'm always stuck when to offer a high ticket treatment like if they're in the treatment room for a facial. Oh, so Skin 9 Studio, I'm always stuck. Oh, like is this like offering them like an add-on or an upgrade? Can you expand on that? Or just like pricing, being nervous about high ticket items in general? Let us know because that's a really good question. And that is a confidence killer for a lot of people, the pricing and you get nervous that they're going to see you as being too salesy or too braggy or too, like you're just trying to sell them on something and then you might disappoint them, or you might jeopardize your tip. That's another one that comes
Mhm.
up. They're like, I want to give them a good upgrade, but I'm afraid they're going to get annoyed and not tip me, which it can happen, you know?
Happen. And I saw another picture, sorry, another question. Someone was asking, I need help with asking them to rebook after their service.
Mm.
I know this is
Oh,
a
yeah, the doll face
really
aesthetic. Yes.
top question. In terms of, for me, and I think we talk about this in Small Owner Sales Academy, it's before they pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't,
Yeah.
because the minute that they have paid, like they're done, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But you can still kind of get their attention before they've paid, and like you're continuing the service. And Elizabeth, I know you share like a really good way to word it. I forget how.
I'm big on, again, this goes back to the consultation where the first time you meet them, you set the expectation that they're going to be on like a 3 month program, a 6 month
Mhm.
program, a 9 month program. So once that seed has already been planted, where they're not coming in for a one and done. If they work with you, your method means they come every month for 9 months to achieve this result. Then there's no question in their mind that they're rebooking because they already know that that's your method,
Mhm.
you know? So in the consultation you mentioned the frequency, and then in the treatment room or during skin analysis I might slip that in, like while I'm extracting them I was like, we're getting a lot of these blackheads out today, these comedones, but I will need to see you again in 4 weeks or 5 weeks to continue this. So they're still on the table and they already have then the
Mhm.
expectation that they're coming back next month. I never leave that towards the end. I'm like, I just keep bringing it back to that.
Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
verbiage, right? And I
Yeah.
talk about this a lot on social media too. Like you paint the picture of what's normal in your spa, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
on your social media content, like if you're sharing before and afters, make sure you're commenting that in the caption that that client has been with you for a treatment plan. Like be like, oh, this is X's like third visit with me, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so people like you're painting the picture of normal, and normal for you is a treatment plan. And I think we've seen a switch like in society where people are realizing, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm surrounded by estheticians all the time. We're like, no, it's not just one and done. Like it's not like you go to Pilates and you have abs, right? It's like doesn't work that way, right? Where I think I've
Mm-hmm.
seen a really big shift this year with our messaging all switching more to being like, no, it's a long-term game, which over time definitely will influence your followers and your clients into understanding that, yeah, it is a long-term game and I'm not going to see those big results right off the bat. So in
Right.
terms of your marketing, you can definitely include that in your captions, in your scripts, in your stories, like always chatting about how a treatment plan, and if you have like a certain like kind of protocol that you've like named something cool, like
Mm-hmm.
make it feel like something bigger than just like a one-time service. And then what Elizabeth says by including that, and then from the consult to the checkout within their time in the treatment room is like you're just continually setting that, like planting that seed so they
Yeah.
understand.
It's like the dentist has no problem telling you that you have to come back every 6 months for a cleaning. A hairdresser has no problem telling you that you need to get your roots touched up in
Mhm.
6 weeks. It's like we struggle with feeling like we can give solid recommendations for frequency. And I think
Mhm.
that's something that holds us back. But
Mhm. Mhm.
just with practice, you'll just get used to it. And I always felt like that's something I had to learn too. Let's see, I'm always stuck. Oh, the high ticket treatments. Yeah, if they're inside the facial and I want to offer like micro channeling, for example. Oh, I see. So this is an example of like wanting to upgrade their service. So micro channeling, that's funny. We have one of the students in our gold tier that's we're working with her micro channeling offering, because micro channeling is huge and it is
Mhm.
amazing, but it's one of those things that, yeah, you have to get the clients like ready to do that. They have to be in the mindset of understanding the benefits and what they're. I personally would like spring on the clients that day. You want to really want to warm them up and prep them for a service like that.
Mhm.
And I always go back. My default whenever I want to talk about a different service is, if you remember one thing, it's just talk about how much you love it for your own skin.
Mhm.
So if you're into micro channeling, Skin Nine Studio, I would say like the next time you see your client and they're like, clients always say like, oh, your skin looks great. You could be like, oh yeah, I've been doing micro channeling to myself and it is fabulous. And I'm offering it out to my clients and I can't tell you, I can't rave enough about it. My skin's never looked better. And if that's a, that's a great way to segue into an offer. And they'll be like, "Ooh, really? What's that about?" And then, just chit chat.
But also like understanding again with the consult, like that's where you understand their skin goals and what they want to see.
Yeah.
So if you've done the consult and you chat with them and like it's just all leading up to microchanneling being their
Mm-hmm.
optimal solution, then that's their optimal solution. It shouldn't be like, oh, it's like higher ticket, it's like, oh no, this is like your next step kind of
Yeah.
thing.
The
You don't want
next
to, like
step.
for you, yeah, it's more expensive, but it might not be more expensive for the client, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're never supposed to sell with your own wallet or your own like I guess
Limitations or thoughts.
limitations or like mentalities because you literally have no idea, what someone's idea of an expensive treatment is. You don't know where they are in like how fed up are they with not seeing results. Like maybe they're just like, you know what? Let's just do it. Book me
Yeah.
in for like
Do
how many
it.
months for microchanneling. Like I'm just like so sick and tired. I want to see results. So again, that does come in back into confidence and over time. And the more that you focus more on like those fine details in the consultation, you're kind of like, I don't know, when the more when you're in the consult and you're chatting with them, it's like you're like collecting like data.
Micro.
Yeah, I saw this TikTok. A girl was talking, so something dating related, and she said that you're just like collecting data about guys, but you're like collecting things, right? And you're putting like a puzzle together, right, about this
Yep.
client. And then I think the more you focus on understanding like where they're coming from, their point of view, what their past experiences, like what their skin goals are, that will increase your confidence when you're talking to them because you'll have more tidbits of information to rely back on when you're chatting about the benefits of microchanneling, right? It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you told me that you're suffering, you're really sick and tired. I remember in the consult you said you're really sick and tired of like XYZ. These are like, look at these like really great before and afters of my last client who did microchanneling. Like she's seen a really big increase in XYZ, or like she also was dealing with XYZ and
Yeah.
she's now seeing like
You should
big
see her
results.
skin now, like kind of a bit of a FOMO. Like, yeah, you should see her skin
Or
now. It
show
looks
like
incredible.
show
Yeah,
the
show
before and
her.
afters to them,
Yeah.
right? Because our industry is so visual. Like, we're putting before and afters always on our social media feeds, but you should definitely have before and afters in the treatment room to show people like what you've achieved for your clients, right? It's all just like that social proof. It's gonna build up like, I don't know, your own confidence, right? Like imagine
Yep.
you're doing your own treatment and you're like, oh, you're in your head, you're nervous talking about the next service, and then you look up on the wall and you see your before wall of like before and afters, and it's like, no, I know my stuff. Like it's
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah. You got to remind yourself of what you know, that you know what you're doing, that you're getting people incredible results.
Mm,
it's again, it's hard sometimes during that like long day, but you have to, just give yourself some gratitude for everything that you know. The other thing that just made me think of with this is like, I don't want to give too much away, but we talk about in one of our modules, I forgot which one, is the retail love languages. So that is so huge. Meg and I created something where like you can't sell to all of your clients the same way. So if you find that you're losing confidence with seller, it's just that you have to tap into how that client is going to receive information
mm,
from you.
mm,
There's different clients that have different styles of communication. And then once you learn how to sell to their like type,
mm,
you can hack the system and like get so many more sales. So that's something that we have in our course as well, is like from 20 years of me selling and super high end New York City spas and celebrity clientele. I basically figured out that there's so many different personality types that you have to sell to. You can't just do it all one way.
mm.
So this was a huge aha moment for me. And we put that's available for you guys now
Yeah,
too as well.
I'll find the lesson
Yeah.
name. But you'll probably, many of you guys will also connect with this because you'll know when also we keep going back to the consult, but when you listen to how your client is explaining their past skincare, what they're using, you'll get an idea of what kind of client you're dealing with. Like
Yes.
someone's gonna come in and be like, I've just been using like salt, I've just been using like soap and water.
Yep.
And then you'll have someone in and be like, oh no, I did like XYZ at this spa, XYZ at that spa. I have like a 20-step routine at home that's this
Yeah.
brand. Like you're gonna have clients of varying degrees, and that's again why I think having like that proper consult in the beginning where you get to see them eye to eye as like person to person, not so much like service provider. Well, you're still a service provider, but it's just like when you take the treatment bed out of the room, or maybe you just have like a cute sitting area in the corner of your room with like a chair where you can like face each other and like have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and there's a little table between you and you have like visual aids. It's just you're gonna have, like I said, you're just collecting data about your client, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, try to figure out like what does she need, to
Mhm.
feel like I'm listening. What is she gonna need to feel like we're on the same page? Because they're all little different languages where like we give love in a certain way, but we need to receive love in a certain way. And I feel like
Mhm.
clients need to receive sales information in a certain way as well. So
Mhm.
we unpack all of that, and it's super helpful.
Mhm.
That's definitely what got me to be like a six-figure seller
Oh
during my
yeah.
career, for sure.
Yeah. Let me, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to share. I love
Yeah,
doing these lives. I mean, we have like our points that we want to cover, but I just love when you guys ask questions because it just feels so much
it's
more
more
closer to what
fun.
you guys really need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more
And
fun.
we know there's so many people that will watch this or watch it in the future that are going to have the same questions. So it's just so nice to hear it directly from you.
Yeah,
And that really helps us shape the content that we
of
make.
course.
And
Always want to make sure we're tailoring our content
but
to your current
yeah,
needs.
setting up long-term treatment plans, I think is one thing that gives estheticians so much more confidence, is really just being the authority, leading with that, like, don't let the client make decisions. I think that's where we
Yeah.
get into trouble, is when we're like, I don't know, they're like, they decide what facial they want. Really, you should be guiding them and taking the lead. Again, it's like the example of dating. If someone decides to take you out on a date, you want them to like plan the date,
Mhm.
pick the restaurant, pick the concert or whatever, and then you just go and enjoy yourself and you just flow with the evening. But if
Yeah.
they go to you and they're not sure where you're guiding them, then they're going to go to someone who is
Mhm.
like willing to map out their treatment and map out their products, because just gives them less to think about. People are so overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Clients are so they're just decision fatigue in
Yeah.
life in general. And then the
Yeah.
last thing they want to do is go to your spa and then be like, oh, I have to decide. They don't want to
Yeah.
do that. They're just like, tell me.
No.
I don't want
And
to
it's like,
think.
yeah, and it's even if they say no, we talk about this a lot. You have to become comfortable with hearing no, because no
Yeah.
doesn't mean, no forever. Um, you're like, if you come up and you're like, oh yeah, this is like XYZ, what I want to do with your skin to help you achieve your skin goals. And they're like, oh no, not right now. But in the back of their head, they're like, man, she created like this whole treatment plan for me. Like we talk a lot about chains, and like a lot of our estheticians in our Spot Owner Sales Academy who are in the gold tier, they get a monthly like live call with us, and we do talk a
Mm-hmm.
lot about like chains and how in these like waxing and facial chains, like it's like you're in, you're out kind of thing,
Oh
and like
yeah.
people
Oh, the
aren't
franchises. Oh, chains.
franchises.
Okay, I didn't hear
Yeah,
you.
so like
Okay.
people are so used to being just like rushed in like in a conveyor belt. And if you take that time and like put in that effort, even if they say no, it doesn't mean that they're just like, oh no, and then they move on. Like, no, they've taken note of that and they're remembering that. And I bet you're one of the few service providers in like the past 10 years who's given them that much attention. And
Yep.
that will always be in their mind, right? And they'll probably come back like in a couple months, right? Or like they're really like, okay, yeah, I remember like in the summer you suggested this treatment plan. At the time I wasn't ready, but like now I am, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know you have their back.
Yeah.
And I did share a post on my feed the other day. It says, it's a little quote. It says, leading with confidence, we've worked hard for this spotlight. Because I find when it comes to confidence, a lot of times like we can get in our own way, and like the what ifs can kind of come into play. But remembering like all the work you've done to get to the place where you are now. So don't feel like you have to like speed through things, right? Like take your time. Don't feel like, like if you explain something to a client and they look at you confused, don't get like embarrassed and be like, oh, let's just like move on.
Yeah.
Like sit back and be like, no, just like,
Take a
take the
beat.
time. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, take a beat because this is your treatment room. You're in charge, right? You've earned this.
Yeah. Yes. It's so true. Oh, Summer. Summer is in, she's one of our gold tier students.
Mhm.
So as you ladies know, I created a first time client experience where I have enough time for the consultation and sales plus
Plus
the
the
facial. I still have people just booking my regular 60 minutes as their first. Do I need to make it a requirement to do my client experience? Is it more, it is more time and
and
money. Ooh,
money.
good question. Yes.
Well,
Sorry, I have to read that
I feel
again.
like there's
I
like
still have
two sides of
people.
the coin. You could you could make it a requirement, and then right off the bat they know that they're getting, and then in the like the description for that product you really go in and how it's like really detailed to them, and like how it's really quality and they're really getting like that one-on-one time with you.
Mm-hmm.
um that also might weed out people who are just looking for a one-time facial, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you do want clients who are in it for a treatment plan, again, it will potentially reduce the amount of people. So you have to be really good with your marketing and keep it up long term. You could, if someone books in just as a 60-minute and then you're chatting and you see, okay, like we definitely, this person needs like a consult. Could you add on a consult afterwards? Is there like a consult option that you could chat, be like, when you're booking them in for their next facial, be like, I noticed you had a lot of questions, during this facial. What if we do like a consult? Like, I actually offer a consult for first time clients, and I'd love to book you in that before your next treatment with me, so we can get those questions out of the way and like understand more of what your treatment plan will look like, kind of thing. Could you add that in separately like after? So even though they didn't book it in at the beginning, like it's almost like you vetted them and you realize that for their to enhance their client experience, they really should have that consult, kind of thing. I know.
I know you do describe it well on your menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm a big fan of making a requirement. Just what it says. It's like your first visit, and they create even like a special page.
Mhm.
This is your first visit, and this is what is required. And then after that, you explain you can come in for the 60 minutes. So I do think it's part of the,
Protocol.
authority process of
Yeah.
like, this is how we do things here. You just don't walk into a plastic surgery office and get your surgery. They have to do a thorough consult with you first. But I like Meg's idea too. If someone, because people are booking themselves online in your case, they're not calling to speak to a receptionist. That can happen when it's like a self-booking style appointment making, then you don't have that receptionist there to like guide them. Then yeah, if you had some type of post service like consultation that you could like schedule another time or put it on top of their next treatment, I think that's a great idea too, because then people just slide in and you never really develop that solid rapport with them.
Mhm.
And I think those are the kind of people that you just don't ever connect with fully because they don't see your full
Mhm.
expertise in one way or another.
So yeah, I do feel that making it a requirement would be less of a hassle for you in like terms of like setting up that sale for that post consult. So perhaps you could try making it a requirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See how that goes. And then if you do want to move on from that, like it's nothing bad. You could
Yeah.
always just like it's the way you do it, and then they could do the 60-minute, and then you could set up like a proper like sales pitch for your consult, like after their first 60-minute, if you feel like they're that kind
But
of
I like what
client.
you just said. So what about contacting them and switching it?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Again, like I know Summer's situation. She's a solo
yeah.
esthetician. I don't believe that she would have a receptionist,
No.
so in bigger spas where you have a receptionist who's handling all those little details, and that's different. They can ensure. But if you're solo and they're booking online and you don't have that same control, then yeah, I would definitely reach out and be like, "Hey, I saw that you booked. I'm so excited to see you. One thing we will do is it's going to be a 90-minute first time appointment, and then we need to do your consult, and then afterwards you can book for 60 minutes." They'll probably be like, "Oh, okay." They don't care. They just need to know what the deal is, because they don't know you yet.
They don't know
So
you. Summer, is there an option? So if you were to call them to explain and say you want to switch them to this 90-minute first time experience because of XYZ, is there an option for you internally to charge their card the difference? Because I know you said it's more expensive. If there's an option for you to charge, like, um, anytime there's like price adjustments or anything with your business, you always want to see if there's a way for you to do it internally. Because if you are like, okay, yeah, I'll send you the link to pay like people don't do that. I've
yeah,
noticed this a lot with my business as well. We want to see if there's an option where you can like, oh, they pay after. Okay, so in this case, it's $60 more. You're contacting them and they would pay after. So you'd want to make sure, I would recommend calling them because
yeah.
again, who's getting called by their esthetician?
Hmm.
Like it's so the bar is so low in terms of customer service. I think you could really, really stand out in that sense. And we've spoken with you, Summer, one-on-one. You have such a great
Oh yes, summer's
personality.
amazing.
Yeah, Summer's so great. So if you were chatting with them one-on-one, you would just need that verbal consent that it would be, $70 more and then be like, okay, perfect. So I'll charge you for this consult, after our first visit. Because they pay for their first client experience after, right, Summer?
Well,
Like
it's
they
just
would
one
pay
big
instantly,
package. I think it's just like she books the first client experience. It includes the consult and then the
but
facial.
they pay after
Yeah, they pay
the
after.
service. They're not paying
Right.
before. Yeah, so you would just need to make sure when you're talking to them that they understand that they're gonna pay afterwards. Yeah. And I would almost say, should she do like an email confirmation afterwards just to like summarize their
I
chat
lost you for a
again?
second.
Do
What'd you
you,
say, Meg? I lost you.
do you think she should do like an email confirmation after her call
Yeah.
with that client
Yeah,
and then to again,
absolutely.
because in my head it's like you always want to cover your bases anytime you're talking about like anything price related or charging them. So you said it verbally, you got their consent over call, and then just shoot them like a summary kind of your call, and maybe like, I'm so excited to meet with you, and then you reiterate
Hmm.
like the importance of the consult and like what you're going to cover in the consult, and then you
Yeah.
make sure you include that like this will be um like $70 like added afterwards. I think it'd be really important to get you want that written consent as well. So
Mhm.
about kind of covering your bases. Yeah,
And I
Cersei.
also think too, they need to understand what they're getting out of it. So things that you always want to say is this is for your safety, for your benefit. I also like let them know what you're going to be covering. So I would always tell people too when they're doing a full consult is
Mhm.
like bring your products in. Like I want you
Mhm.
to bring in whatever you're using at home. I want to see it.
Mhm.
So it's like you're almost doing you're adding an additional service. They're getting value out of coming in early and paying
Yeah.
more. So it's like I want to see your products, bring your products in. I want to look at, anything you have questions, anything you want me to look at, bring that in. And then I'm going to do photos, like whatever you do during your first visit consultation, they need to know that that's why they're paying more and just make it like the norm, just kind of like make it like this isn't an option. Be like, this is what we do. This is our first time client visit.
Mhm.
And then like just reassure them after that, it'll be 60 minutes, it'll be this price, but first time this is how we do it. And the right client, your right client, Summer, will have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
That high end client, they'll get
Yeah.
it.
They'll get it because also it's not taking away from their 60-minute treatment, right? It's almost
Exactly.
like you're doing them a really big service. Like they get,
Yeah.
like I said previously when we first started this call, like when I book in a facial, like I don't want to spend like my first 15 minutes on the treatment bed, like trying to remember what I've done with my skin and what my goal, like everything. Like I'm there to like shut my eyes and have you be the professional kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think you could definitely
Yeah.
integrate that you're not taking away from their treatment. And that way, when you cover all the bases in the consult, you can have like the best quality kind of service kind of treatment with them.
And I would say this is a great angle for your content. You could say like here at Ritual, skincare, we don't make you think and talk during your facial. If you want to come in and shut down, then we always give you separate consultation time to chat about your goals, your issues, anything that's coming up. And then once you get on that table, it's your time to unplug. So like I would incorporate that into your messaging somewhere so it's very clear that there's a reason behind you're doing this. And I think that reason is going to really speak to a lot of people like Meg who don't want to come into her facial and be doing like a 30-minute Q&A and they just want to relax. So you're
Hmm.
like, hey, we get that. Let's handle, this is why we do it this way.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that that's how I would angle it is
Hmm.
like, this is why I do it this way. If you can tell people the rationale behind why you're doing something, it's kind of like when you're dealing with a toddler, it's like you have to tell them why, you're like, don't hit anybody because that hurts. You always have to tell people the why behind what you're doing. And I think once they understand that and make that connection, then they're going to be even more impressed by
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And also, like, you're in your treatment room, you have a lot more expertise than your clients.
Mm,
So again, it just comes back to like taking the lead can
taking the lead.
build so much confidence in the treatment room. Like, don't be afraid to take the lead. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good question, Summer. And
Thanks for sharing, Summer.
yeah, that's really good. And I think that's going to help a lot of people because it's
Mhm.
true. We don't want to make anyone feel like, oh, they came to relax and now we're talking to them and we're taking up their
Mhm.
time. You have to switch that on its head and be like,
Mhm.
information they can't get anywhere else that's like completely tailored to them and
Mhm.
their concerns and their needs. I'm the expert and it's like a
Mhm.
privilege to be able to sit down and talk with me because I know my stuff. We
Mhm.
have to click that confidence in.
Mhm.
So
And then
many of
Elizabeth,
us don't.
would you agree that in her verbiage she could say that because it's like a consult, it's the first time,
Hmm.
it's a one-time thing. Do you think she should like dance with using the verbiage that this is like a one-time service so that they
Yeah,
know they're not going to do a
yeah,
consult
definitely.
again, but it's going to you up from the start for success?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I see a lot of spas do that. They say like even on their website, it'll be like first time with us or this is your first visit question mark, start here. And so you're basically showing them in that user experience on their website.
Mhm.
Like there's no other place to start but here. And so yeah, it's like this is your starting point and you explain why you do it that way and then you let them know after we do this then you'll be set up for success in your program of
Mhm.
treatments and products and then
Mhm.
you'll be coming in for 60 minutes after that and it's easy peasy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that they just need to know that that's how you operate.
Yeah.
um
Perfect. Do you guys have any other questions? We're talking about embracing confidence in the treatment room. So if you have any questions at all
yeah, you
about
got
feeling
us.
more confident in the treatment room, please don't hesitate to comment. Also, if you are watching this, because we're going to post the replay, again, don't hesitate to comment below, whether it's a reel or a YouTube video, wherever you're watching this. Um, yeah, we want to make sure that we're answering your questions for you.
Hmm.
Mhm. I'm just gonna look at my notes. Me be in charge. Yeah, we've pretty much covered. we've
We covered a lot.
covered a lot. We've covered all of our points.
I guess if we could sum it up it would be like, help the client make as few decisions as possible because that's what they want to do. And, they're not the expert, you are. So don't be afraid to like really just
Mhm.
tell them what is
Mhm.
normal for your spa.
Mhm.
I love that. Like, this is what normal is. And even if it doesn't feel normal to you yet, they don't know that.
Yeah,
Like fake it
fake
till you make
it.
it.
Fake it till
you
you make
know,
it. Like
fake it till you make it,
literally,
baby.
fake it till you make
Yeah.
it. It takes years to be confident in what you do. Like
Yeah.
I just hit 10 years working in the field of marketing, and I think back to even how I was like 2 years ago, and it's just like I've grown so much. Like
Hmm.
you guys are gonna grow so much after a year, 3 years, 5 years. So at the beginning, like you kind of do have to fake it till you make it because internally you might not have that confidence yet.
Yeah.
But the only way you're gonna get that confidence is if you step out of your comfort zone and you lead in the treatment room. Like the worst thing you can do for your business and for yourself is to stay in your comfort zone and give like a subpar treatment where you can do more. Like let yourself like stumble through your words, right? Because the next time you do it, like you're not going to stumble, right?
Right.
That's literally the only way. And I think it's so scary because I do this
Hmm.
with my business too. Like I get opportunities and stuff, and I do new projects and I'm like, oh, this is like so scary. This is so out of my comfort zone. But I'm
Yep.
like, no, this is the only way I'm going to grow. And it's what I know my clients need, what you
Yeah.
guys need from me. And I think because we're also passionate in what we do, that passion can kind of, it can like shadow over that fear a bit to get you out of your comfort zone.
Hmm. One thing that's helped me too is just trying to be neutral. Like, don't be
Yes.
attached to an outcome. Like, whatever you want to do, that's, you offer it, and don't be attached to whether they say yes or no. Just be neutral about it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're dealing with another human being. You don't know what the full
Story is.
neutral. Just keep being a broken record about what you do, how you do it, why you are there, what's your why, what are you passionate about, and how you
Mm-hmm.
deliver results. Just be a broken record about it. And then whatever outcome you get from that, just be neutral about it. But what you say should never waver. You should always be super true to what your messaging is. And how people respond is not your responsibility. But don't let that stop you from
Mm-hmm.
what you're supposed to say and what you need to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Confidence, right?
Confirmation. But
Yeah.
this was a great call. We covered so much. Again, if
Yep.
you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave them, to comment
Yeah,
them right now,
DM
or
us
DM us.
anytime.
We're always here for you. This is all we want, is to help you guys.
Yep. And check out, like, if, for so many of you who don't know, we created this huge spa owner sales academy. It's this massive treasure chest, and recently we split it up. So
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
you can see that we offer individual learning lessons. So if you want to go in and look at how to do a better skin analysis or how to work with your online content, we both have material there that people are loving. So
Yes.
go in and check it out.
And Elizabeth and I are in every single video too.
Yes, we're together.
We're
This
together,
is the
just like
pair.
this.
Oh, do you guys recommend a new client sale?
Oh, like a new client discount, like a discount for new clients.
What do you mean? Like, in terms of what? Can you be more specific on that, Cindy?
Like service or product?
Yeah, service, product, or like add-ons, because there's so many ways you could do it. Um, in general, I'm not a big fan of discounting your services. I'm a fan, if you want to give them a little something, it would be like a product
Yeah.
or like an add-on, but I'm not a big fan of discounting, because then what are you setting up? You're setting up the precedent that they come in, they get a discount, and then what happens when they don't get the discount? They may not
Mhm.
want to come in.
Mhm.
So I'm not a huge fan. Oh, Pure
Joy.
Joy. Yeah, Cindy, if you have any other if you want to expand on that, I would love to know.
Yeah. But I think
Because
what
yeah,
you lean more towards not doing, don't do like a service deal kind of thing.
no, like if you, for a new client, if you're like, hey, come on in, it's your first time, and then you get yep, Joy
Yeah.
never
Love
discounted.
joy.
I know.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
never discounted. Love
I'm not
that.
a fan. Like, if you want to bring them like the first time visit, they get the nice little juicy little gifts at your spa, or a little gift bag, or you give them a bundle of travel sized products. Totally amazing. Get them nice and warmed up and feeling like they're right where they're meant to be. But giving them 20% off, why? You're not giving them 20% less of service.
Mhm.
So why give them 20% off? I don't think that that's necessary to bring in clients.
And like extra in terms of like making that new, getting like that first client is most likely one of the hardest parts. And I do
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, leading up to not discounting the service, what Elizabeth said, there's so many ways you guys can add more value,
Client
like with a goodie bag or
experience.
like a free add-on, perhaps, like maybe like a hand massage or something, but don't discount your main service. How do you invite or bring more people in to get a facial without discounting? We just said, yeah, like don't discount the service, but like what can you do in terms of enhancing the client experience?
Right.
Can you give them like a goodie bag? Can you ask them to bring in their products they're using, and then maybe one of them you can swap out for like a travel sized or like gift bag, something like that. There's with retail and like add-ons, there's so many options for you guys to kind of like oomph up your services to make it more appealing. And remember, when people are coming in for that first time service, where's their head at? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're confused. They are so tired. They have no idea what's going on. They're probably frustrated. So is this the service like Summer does the consult, which I absolutely love, like having that consult attached to your first service enhances that client experience, right? It makes you feel like they're so well taken care of. They can bring in their, what Elizabeth was saying, bringing in their products, right? It's just like an amazing opportunity to look at what they're using, and then again you can share your expertise and never judge. I talk about this a lot, like we're never judging people's product uses, we're educating with empathy. That's what I
We
always
only
say you want to do.
secretly judge just among ourselves, but no, I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
No, but never,
I'm
never
just
to a
joking.
client's face, never on
God,
social
no, never.
media. We're never ripping apart what they're using. That's like the number one way to scare off a new client,
Yeah.
especially on your social media, is like
Yeah,
judgmental of what
totally.
people
We
use.
go into that in our scripting in our course
Yeah.
too. Like, I could have a client that would be like, I use a Brillo pad and Dawn soap. And I'd be like, well, I'm so proud of you for trying to find solutions. Like, it could be literally the worst possible thing that they could be using on their skin. And I'll be like, okay, like that's one of the things you're like, okay. And it's like, then you move on from there and you educate. So,
Mhm.
yeah, you cannot ever make them feel bad. But I was going to say too, how do you invite or bring more people in to get a facial without discounting? You have to pull from your existing clients. Your existing clients are your pot of gold that you already have. So having a strong referral program where your clients maybe have an incentive to refer
Mhm.
is huge. I am all about referral programs because it's like advertising that you don't have to do.
Mhm.
So, being able to tell your clients, and you really got to compliment your clients. Like if you have those angel clients, those like 10 to 15 or 20 to 25 or even 5
Mhm.
people that are like your committed clients, they love you, you love them,
Mhm.
you have a great rapport.
Mhm.
Those are your clients that you go to and you're like, Angela, I absolutely love you. You are such a superstar. I wish I could clone you. If your girlfriends or your friends are as amazing as you, I want them to come here. Like, how can I get your friends in? Be like, have them come in and see me. And then maybe you give her like a $50 store credit or something to buy products. Like, give your dream client something, and then tell them that it's a referral program. Or like, I worked at a medical spa where every referral that we had, the new client would get a free product or something, and then the client that referred would get a $50 store credit. So like they were referring, and then both people got something good for coming
Mhm.
in.
Mhm.
So yeah, we got to work with your existing clients. They are
Mhm.
your warm audience, as Meg
Mhm.
would say. They already
Yeah,
like you.
they already like
They
you.
understand
So
you and they love you.
they love you. And again, that's why we created the whole Spot Owner Sales Academy, to help you enhance your client experience.
Hmm.
Because when you enhance your client experience, that's when, next time your client's at girls' night and someone compliments her skin, she's gonna be like, yeah, I go to, like, I see Elizabeth, and like, oh my God, she did this in my last treatment.
Yeah, she's
And like it was
magic.
she's so awesome. Like when
Yeah.
you build up your client experience in the treatment room, and like we've covered so many different ways
Oh yeah.
to, whether it's through customer service or like doing a consult, so maybe like
VIP
having a one-on-one
stuff.
time, VIP stuff, like that's how you're gonna increase your organic traffic too from your current clients without a referral program, right? We are very, very pro referral plan. I think everyone should have one, but you also want to be like, man, without being incentivized, like, is my service enough? Where they're like, oh my gosh, you're so awesome. Like, I can't believe she did that. And then they share it with their friends and
Yeah,
family.
I think that like if you get such a good client experience that people can't help but talk about you.
Yeah.
Once you get that comfortable and good, like I've had clients, I'm not tooting my own horn, but after 20 years, you get really good and confident. And like they would be like, I told my sister, I told my aunt to come see you. I'm sending my children in. Like people are just like, they love you so much. They can't wait to bring more people in. And that's the level, because you look so good at what you do. And then they're going to look good by bringing people can give, because they
Mhm.
know that you're so good that they're like, well, if I bring someone to Elizabeth, she's going to have a great experience. And then I look good because I just gave a great gift. It's
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
you create something that people want to share, they will share it. And so you
Yeah.
really have to, this is a little tough love. You have to look into yourself and be like, if I were a customer walking into my own spa, what would I think about this experience? Is it good? What are the highs? What are the lows? Where are the gaps? What could I do better? I don't do that much anymore, but as a spa consultant, that's what I would do. I was like a fresh pair of eyes going into a spa, and I could tell you, okay, you guys are doing this stuff great, but this is where you're missing the mark.
Mhm.
And they were like, really? And I was like, yes. And so that's what you need to do for yourself, is figure out, where could I be missing the mark? And if you have a best friend or someone that you trust, or a family member, have them be honest with you,
Mhm.
be like, listen, where could I be better? Is this good? And
Yeah.
find someone who will tell you the truth. Have them
We
come
all
in from a service.
But we also have in the Spa Owner Sales Academy a whole lesson or like master class that you guys can purchase on this.
The secret shopper.
Yeah, the spa
Yes.
secret shopper strategies. And Elizabeth actually included her secret shopper checklist in that lesson. So you can have people, so if you are feeling like, oh, I want like a second set of eyes, yes, get your family and friends. But we also have this whole masterclass that's taught by Elizabeth on this topic. If you guys are interested, I'll link it. I will link it in
Yeah,
the
that's like
caption for this.
everything you can think of, every weird, nasty thing I've seen in a spa, or things that are great where I've seen other spas best practices, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so smart. I share it. I'm like, here's what you got to avoid, here's what you got to
Yeah.
do. The things that you're not even thinking about that could make or break. Those are the things that will create an incredible experience that people won't stop talking about. Oh, Joy, I have a client who is a nurse. The nurses were on break and they started talking about their waxing person and bragging about how kind and thorough she. That's what you want. They started laughing. My client said, Joy, don't you know you wax most of the hospital?
That's
That's amazing.
awesome. See,
That's
that's
right.
exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so awesome. And nurses are just gonna chit chat, when they have downtime
Yeah.
and bam, clients. That's how it works.
And
And I love how Joy has
yeah.
embraced that. She's like
Joy,
doing
you
this.
need to put that into your marketing, like your messaging or something. Just be like, I'm the best kept secret, for my nurse clients, and
Mhm.
see what they've been, whatever. Like, we need to brag more. I'm working on this with my content. Like, we can't stay in the shadows. We need to brag. Being humble it's not gonna help you. It's gonna keep you invisible. Keep bragging. Keep talking about the results that
Mhm.
you're getting and what you're
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
It's not a luxury to be seen. It's a necessity. You
Yeah,
need to be seen. So you gotta just go for it. Especially
go
you, Joy.
for it.
You're so well spoken and you're really good at promoting yourself. So
Mhm.
I would blow that up. Get those nurses going.
Mhm.
Get them talking about you. They already are. So that's amazing. That's like social proof 101,
Yeah.
like I wax all the nurses at the hospital. And
Yeah.
also too, the nurse angle is amazing, Joy, because nurses have high standards. They're clean, they're medical professionals. Like, that's a great angle,
Yep.
you know.
Totally.
Good
Totally agree.
job. Yeah, you
So
guys are
it's been
amazing.
I know how do you promote yourself when you just start out?
So
Mm.
what are you doing? Tell us more about your business. Are you solo? Are you working somewhere? What is your business? The
Yes.
Light Aesthetics. I like that name.
We do have a free, also the latest settings. We have a free masterclass where we chat about more promoting yourself and like spa sales secrets. It is
Yes.
linked in my bio. It's free. It's Elizabeth and I whole, I don't know how long it is. I think it's like
Not
30,
that
40
long.
minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
30 minutes or
It's
so,
really
but
good.
it's really good. Highly, highly, highly recommend if you guys want more of us right after this call. It'll be in my bio.
That course is good. We give some juicy tips in there.
Class.
And then I was going to say too, yeah, the class. And then I would say something that came to mind is you really have to know the backbone of your business, who you are. How do you
Mm-hmm.
promote something unless you're really clear with what you do? I'm solo, only focus on facial and skincare. Okay. All right. So you're solo, you're starting out. Do you have a certain focus? So you do facials and skincare, so it sounds like you're not doing waxing. So are you doing more holistic? Are you more clinical? Like, have you really defined who you are, what you offer, what you believe in? That's really where you have to start.
That's where I say, yeah, we have a whole lesson on that in the Spa Owner Sales Academy that you can purchase separately. It's defining who you are in your sales messaging.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super key. I think because I get this question a lot, and when people are struggling off the bat, it's because they don't know like the why for their business and like how to formulate the why correctly within their messaging and their marketing. So this masterclass lesson, defining who you are in your sales message, I would highly, highly recommend.
Yeah, because it is hard. Like if you just like, hi, I'm out here, I'm doing skincare, that's not enough. Like you need to really figure out, and we'll help you do this. Like, who is your ideal client? Who are you trying to reach? What are you
Mhm,
trying to do?
mhm,
All of that. Because if you speak, Meg, you said this so nicely in one of the lessons. If you speak to everyone, you speak to no one.
yeah,
Like we can't be lost in the sea of sameness. It's like we have to speak directly to our client with our
mhm,
messaging.
mhm,
Otherwise, no one's going to know if our message is right for them.
yeah.
So I would love to know what you're focused on. But facial and skincare, that's amazing. And maybe you can define it more for us. Oh, I'm more holistic, but also focused on corrective treatments.
Nice.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
All
That's
right.
great. Yeah.
Well,
So I
gosh,
would
yeah.
recommend the sales messaging lesson in terms of that. That'll help check off like the first box.
Hmm.
I also have a lesson on the introduction to emotional selling and then understanding how your client's mind works. A lot of times when you're putting out content and you're not getting like anything from it, or you're just getting like, I don't know, like not like empty followers, but like people who like aren't really your ideal client. Um, this lesson can really help you like fine tune your content because it is
Hmm.
all about you got to speak to someone. Don't speak to like everyone. Don't be doing like all your content shouldn't always be like here's like 5 skin tips. It's like how can you like niche that down for your clients and like their current skin
Hmm.
concerns, right? And like in your town, is there something that's up and coming in the next few months that you can tie into a post,
Yeah,
right?
local. Yeah, local
Local,
engagement.
because a lot of times that's how you're going to start your business. It's you're going to start from your local, you're going to start bringing in local clients. That's what you want, right? And then if you expand from there, you expand from there. But at the end of the day, like local clients is your main goal at the beginning. So how can you show up more in your community as the skincare professional that you are?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Local is huge. And then just really diving into like what solutions you provide. So
Mhm.
holistic skincare, corrective skincare, maybe you got to dive deeper in your messaging of what are you actually correcting and then
Mhm.
what makes you holistic. So if those are the two differentiators that you have, your holistic and your corrective, talk more about what holistic means to you. Really paint that picture. Talk more about what skin conditions you're correcting.
Mhm.
That way, people that like those holistic elements and people who need those certain things corrected know that you're the person for them.
Mhm.
So, really give lots of imagery and be really descriptive with those
Mhm.
because the average consumer gets confused by the word holistic. Like it means
Yep.
something to us as an industry person, but it's
Mhm.
more like industry jargon. So really spell out, okay, what does holistic mean to my client and what does
Mhm.
corrective mean to my client
Mhm.
in like super simple will understand what you do and be more attracted to
Mhm.
your solutions. So like if you want to expand on that, you can. But that's where I would love for you to go with it.
Okay, this was a really great call. I think we're gonna wrap up soon.
Yeah, but DM us if anything comes up or you think of something later
Mm-hmm. It was
and
really great
check
connecting
out
with everyone, and of course, connecting with you, Elizabeth.
you as well, my friend. I know. Thank
You're
you.
welcome to
Yes.
Light Aesthetics.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, poke around our page and see if anything speaks to you, and then you can always DM us. But yeah, good luck. And I know that you're gonna do great. If you're out here trying to get information, you're listening to Meg and you're tuning into us, that means your head is in the game and you're trying to better yourself and do your best. So I'm sure you're gonna do great. So good job.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is
All
my
right.
camera like super
I just
contrast?
just got a little
It's
funny
so
looking.
bright. I
The
look like
light
the Tin
changed.
Man. I don't know. I look like I
That's
look
our
like I'm
cue.
glowing.
That's our cue to
Okay.
turn off the
Yeah,
video.
let's wrap it up because I'm look like I'm gonna explode into the sun. Okay.
All right. Bye,
Bye
everyone.
everyone.
Thank
Have a
you
good
so much.
day.